Okay, so let's look at the piece situation. So white does have an extra piece. Always has to be a little bit wary of f2. Always have to be very wary of f2 because f2 and a knight coming in on g4 is black's method of getting in on this position. It would cover h2 as well. So, okay, pawn at h6, so you can't take the rook because queen at g7 would be checkmate. So he's threatening taking off that rook. I just had that exchange happened way too quickly. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What happened there? Okay, so just to replay a few moves. Takes. Pawn here, queen here. He takes the pawn, takes back with the king. Here, check. Oh, what? And black resigns because he just loses the queen because otherwise pawn takes. And okay, so littleplotkin has assured himself at least a draw in this match. So now at game 8 out of 10, they play the full 10 games. And we see here okay, both players playing quite quickly, so it's difficult to say much. Okay, obviously black would be very interested in a knight, but okay, he's going straight in for g7. Very nice move. Okay, he's trying to go for some active defense. Oh, that. So Kleerkast just resigned there because what did he recognize in that position? Black is taking the knight. Black is taking the knight. Bishop could take back, but maybe. Yeah, I'm not. They're playing really rapidly, these games. They've played 8 games in less than 40 minutes, and usually these matches take 1¼ hours or 1 hour 20. I don't know. Bishop there looked better, but okay, interesting. Because this is blocking in his own bishop. Okay, that's nice. He pushes it again. So he really wants bishops. And that bishop's a very key defender of the black king, because black has a lot of light square weaknesses. So you don't want to allow knight takes bishop. So it's very tempting just to pick off that knight. But he doesn't mind. I don't know, that bishop's a really nice force. Okay. He just fixes his position. Okay. Yeah, this is weakness. If you could drop a pawn there, for example, that's a problem. And d5 is also hanging. So black defends d5. Looks nasty. Rook at h1. I mean, it's not mate, but queen can't go to f2 because of the rook at h1. So king is running to h2, but is there a follow-up? Okay, lots of time on the clock for both players. Can Kleerkast find something? And is there, so in the meantime, white does have a lot of pieces. So pawn at, no immediate mate, but let's see. Yeah, pawn at g6 would be the most direct. But g6 is covered twice. So pawn at e6 he goes for. Takes, yeah. No, pawn at g6. Takes, knight takes, would be threatening ideas on h8 too. So bishop takes again, queen takes, but then maybe pawn at h7. So maybe black could fix his problems if he went to g6. So he's going via e6. So he's probably hoping to put some other piece on g6 in future. Maybe a bishop here is the plan. In the meantime, is he safe? So it's really close. King here, pawn here. Bishop d3, yes, the bishop could come to d3. King would go to f2. No, but then knight could take the bishop though, so I'm not sure. Bishop takes, king takes rook, pawn here, king here. Don't see a follow-up. But oh, the queen could come in. The queen could come in. My goodness. So yeah, that is dangerous. Okay, I thought he'd go bishop. But okay, since if he was going to sacrifice anyway. Okay, now bishop here is coming in. And now, well, he has to go for it now. So he has to go for something, I think. Okay, is this a trick? It looks like a trick. Black. So they agree on a repetition. Okay. Fubutox will be thrilled to hear that we've had a draw in the Crazyhouse World Championship because he predicted at least 2 draws. But I feel, yeah, I feel black had better. So this is game 10, so the final game of this match, which littleplotkin has secured. Okay, so he's in on h3. This is it's okay for now. If ever queens came off, this could be a problem. So he's going for the queen. The pawn drop would be just fine. Takes, replace. Are there any dangers in the position? Okay, knight takes. Okay, so queen could just move somewhere. What's black's follow-up? He could win a rook, or he could win. I'll draw. Oh, a draw. The queen's being harassed quite a lot. It's not got that many squares left because a pawn here and a pawn here would force an exchange of queens. He's only got 1 pawn, so let me see. Is there a way? So he could go pawn here. Yeah, queen here. You don't go here because otherwise he's picking up the knight. Ah, so he's picking up the bishop for here. And he's not even going, yeah. He's pinning the knight as well. The bishop, the pawn here and the bishop here is picking up the queen. So that's very uncomfortable for white. So it looks like it's game over. Okay, that's not game over. But the queen is trapped. Okay, he can exchange queens, but it is still trapped. Ooh, yeah, I think, yeah, that was necessary. The question is that the knight is still doing a good job defending. H3. And H2 is defended by the bishop, so these are quite well defended. So you can't do something like sacrifice your rook on the knight and just go straight in for a mate. Okay, he's going for a back rank attack. Takes. That's quite enough. Ah, he's got the queen coming in, so this does look like it should be enough. Another queen here, and pawn and bishop. Bishop hit. Bishop on g1 will do it. Bishop on g1. No. Bishop on g1, king back. Bishop takes pawn, check, and queen takes g1 is mate. Yeah, and Opperweisen also says bishop at g1 and pawn and g2 is checkmate. But in any case, the black king is safe, so white resigns, and that completes the match. So I'll just post the link in the Twitch chat to the standings in the Crazyhouse World Championship. That's a 7.5, 2.5 win to littleplotkin. And also, if you want to read more about the Crazyhouse World Championship, I'll post the link to the blog. And we'll go back to the first game, and we'll sort of play through because we missed quite a lot. That was Blitzbullet Schwanet from earlier. So let's just let's get out of here. Okay, we'll play through some of. Oh dear, something's. Yeah, so Opperweisen says in the chat, confident good play from littleplotkin there to win 7.5, 2.5. So since we were only able to join halfway through and we had all these audio issues, let us just play through some of the games a little bit more slowly. And that was 6, 7, 8. These are the ones we did see. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now let's go back to game 1. And we're going to try and just look at instructive things from these games. And let's just set that to start having a look at the future games. Okay, so game 1, littleplotkin is white. I'm going to turn off the move arrows because I know some people don't like best move arrow. Okay, so let's just review some of these games. And I said I was going to look at. Okay, so I'm going to set this just to play by CPL while I'm updating. So by CPL means it will play moves which are good very, very quickly and moves which are slightly less good, slightly slower. I'm just going to play it through CPL while I just update the standings in So 7.5 to 2.5 in the standings link, which I just posted for you. 7.5 to 2.5. .5, 7.5. It's weird that so it's been set up, so I need to write 2.5, or it doesn't recognize it as a number. Which is strange, but that's the way it is. Comma 5. 7.5. Okay, so the standings link I just posted is now updated. Littleplotkin has now won his second match and goes up to 7th place out of the 11 candidates, with 5 matches still remaining, so still possible to climb up several places. So we see here the first game she played. And bishop d6, knight c5, and then which I'll just play, and black resigned. So really, if I'm just looking at that whole game as a whole, it seems he just played it perfectly, and knight at e4 from black was maybe a slight error. Which a better move was just bishop d6. So why was knight at d4 so bad? And in this position, the computer has a weird suggestion. Knight at g6, which I'm not entirely understanding. So I guess the idea is you want to you're trying and hitting the rook. So why can't, and the bishop, if you move the rook, then you're disrupting the king side and so on. But why can't that knight just be taken? So, black has no pawns in hand. I think that's the problem. He has no pawn to defend f7. So we could next take on here. So anyway, some rather crazy stuff. So instead he goes pawn at g6, which is very good. F takes g6, and yeah. So he's very comfortable this whole game. On e5 again is not a move that computer likes. Things just go straight away with h3. So this is just the computer line for how the game might have continued. Maybe slightly better for black. But yeah, basically very well played game 1. Now just going back to the cross table, game 2. So we had some problems on stream earlier, so that's why I'm just playing through more slowly. We could do this play by CPL if you like. So it's quite a nice feature that Lichess has, where you can play through moves more quickly if they're very good moves, and more slowly if maybe there might have been better alternatives. So queen a5 is very common in this opening. Bishop c4 looks like a perfectly decent move, but the computer really likes putting a pawn on e5, but this is completely fine. The difficulty as black in this opening, because I played this myself, is when you get your knights out, your knights are harassed, and when you got your queen out, your queen gets harassed. So we'll see how Plotkin actually won this game as black. So Costas queenside seems reasonable, although computer prefers taking on f3 and then knight at d4. Bishop d5, e6. So maybe king b8 is a bit more solid, but yep, takes. Knight a7 check. So you always want to move your king to b8, but you're afraid of knight takes knight, pawn takes, and that looks visually very ugly, just opening up your king. So knight takes knight, king takes knight, and then why not king b8 now? Because then you're losing your queen. Hang on, I need to go back and move those two. Oh, I see, yes. Yeah, this is the problem. The problem with taking the knight is once you've done that, you have to then escape here, because if you now go king b8... Oh, I shouldn't have this on, should I? But my computer will not cope. Then you'll have knight at c6 like this. So, okay, king d7, knight at d5. I should just play by CPL, that's the thing to do, with the engine off. Okay, so white was in really good shape in game 2, as we can see. I'm just going to play through queen takes h5, pawn here, so bishop takes, queen takes, bishop here, knight f6 hitting the queen. Yeah, the king's on a bit of a runner. Knight takes h5. Okay, now in this position, white apparently has mate in 3, and I'm not going to look at it, so let's just see if we can find the mate in 3. So white is Kleerkast. He has got a bishop and a queen in hand. So this is going to be a good. And I seem to have lost my. Sorry, I seem to have lost my window where I had my. Twitch chat open. So I'm sorry about this. I'm going to have to try and set this up again. Go to my. All kinds of technical problems today. Go to dashboard. I'm just on a tiny screen here. That's why it's not so easy. And let's see. Put this. Okay, there we go. Now I can see what you're. Hopefully I can see you all. Okay. So white to mate in 3. Just trying to get this to work. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So first I look. Where can the king go? It can go here, here, or take the bishop. But if it did take the bishop, it's really running into a lot of difficulty with moves like queen here, check, cutting off a lot of squares, and would have to, and I'd have to just step back. Okay, so trying to find the mate in 3 in this position. I mean, if I was guessing, I would say drawing the king out was a good idea. So maybe even something like bishop here. So if king takes bishop, queen here, checkmate. So bishop here would force king takes bishop. And then, yeah, I'm not seeing it. So I'm going to, so it's quite a tough one. Knight c8. And I guess the idea is to distract if rook takes c8, okay. You want to put a queen here, but you first stop the king from running. So you go bishop at b4. If king takes bishop, queen here will be checkmate, so that's easy. So this is really quite a nice mate. And if you block, you simply drop a queen. Okay, and if you don't take this knight, if we say just take the bishop, then queen here is checkmate. So yeah, this is not an easy mate to see. See, I was thinking bishop here as an idea, but the king can take the bishop, and there's no real follow-up. and if the bishop goes here, that was the other idea I had. Black can block, so there is apparently still mate, but it's not a straightforward one. So this is one for the puzzle books. White having mate in 3 in this position. And the theme, so I actually collect puzzles, so if you're interested, I will check out the blog, and yeah, do get in touch. How to improve in chess? I recommend do tactics, and also try and look at the games of the masters and try to analyze your own games. And something I've looked at on my own YouTube at some point is the books by Yusupov, which are quite good, just to notice mating patterns. To get better at Crazyhouse, same thing. Look at the games of the masters, and do tactics training. If you look at my YouTube, I've done some. You can see lots of links to some puzzles on lichess, Crazyhouse puzzles on lichess. So there's a puzzle stream, and inside the puzzle stream you'll see lots of links. So this is quite a tough puzzle. The idea is to distract the rook. Yeah, that's a tough one. I would not have seen that, even thinking quite a long time. I was not seeing it at all. So in the end, so white was doing okay until this move here. Bishop takes b7. King takes a7. The king is somehow getting safe. Queen at b8. The queens are terrible defenders. I mean, and suddenly black can. I said queens are terrible defenders. So but it turned out pawn at c5 is a bad counter. So yeah, pawn at b7 was strong. So queens are good defenders in a way, but the problem is, so queens are excellent defenders, but the problem is once you lose your queen, you're losing it for, you got a queen being used against you. So in Crazyhouse, yeah, queens are actually the best defenders there are, but when you lose your queen, you have a queen against you, and that's very powerful. So this is why placing the queen was maybe not ideal. It's not actually clear at all, but apparently this is, yeah, in this position, yeah, it's not clear at all why it is so bad. Queen at b8, why is that so bad? So it reckons black is giving up his advantage, queen at b8, and he should have gone bishop at d5. I see. So it's not that it's not that queen at b8 is losing. It's just that bishop at d5 is a bit more active and a bit more direct. Okay, queen at b8. So actually, black now got his own attack going, and wrapped up the game with takes the knight. I mean, he has just too many pieces now. King h1, and in this position he had quite a neat mate with queen at g1. Is that right? Queen to g1. And this is very hard to see. Rook takes, and knight at f2, smothered mate. And he went for knight f2 first, but this is completely winning. Just sort of sacrificing all his material, but he's got too much material, and it's completely winning. So I'm thinking here, yeah, rook to g2, king to h1, knight at f2 is also winning. But yeah, lots of ways of. I was thinking actually something else here. Knight takes h3, king here, and that doesn't. That's not the most. Yeah. So let's see. Is there anything? I mean, it's going to mate eventually, but this is not the clean. Knight takes h3, king h1. What's the clean way of finishing this now? Bishop here? Yeah, bishop here. King would have to go here. Oh, this is okay. This is not the cleanest way, and then you probably go a new knight on here, checkmate. Okay, so there are tons of checkmates here, but he does it this way, so that's fine. Promoting a pawn. So that was game 2. So let's see. Let's go to game 3. This is not my usual streaming setup, so that's why I've been struggling a little bit today. But just wanted to cover this Crazyhouse World Championship match. So in game 3, littleplotkin is white, but he lost this game. Yeah, so d3 is a mistake. It just ignores knight takes g2. But yeah, the reason pawn at e2 is a real threat. So yes, I don't know. It feels like mistakes were made a bit earlier. So if we just rewind a little bit, rewind to the beginning again. So this is all fine. Knight takes d5, bishop b5. So bishop b5 is a mistake. So bishop b5, it says is a mistake, but it seems like a perfectly reasonable move. But anyway, knight takes c3, b takes c3, queen to d5, c4. I say that because bishop b5 causes me a lot of trouble, I know from my own games, even though the computer is saying it's a mistake. Yeah, so in this position, pawn at e3, maybe, but he does knight at e3. Okay, knight e3, knight f4. Okay, knight f4 is a good move. Can you just castle? But then you get pawn at h3. So that's the problem. If you castle into a whole big attack. And then the problem is it's also threatening pawn at e2, simply winning the queen, and that's just crushing. So apparently the best move for white here is simply pawn at e2. Okay, I understand now. Pawn at e2, simple plan. If knight takes g2, knight takes knight. Easy. So suddenly that's not a threat anymore. E5, and this is how the game would continue, something like this. So white stays safe. But d3 doesn't deal with a lot of these threats. So knight takes g2, because the knight is pinned. Just move, then take the knight. Bishop h3 takes to black, gets a really nice attack. Here, king goes back to e1, knight here. He has to run. If he goes back here, he's going to get discovered. Discovered checks, picking up the queen. Knight takes e3, f takes e3, pawn at c3, king takes c3. And here, bishop at b4 check apparently is strong, which is king goes back, I guess, to g2. It's nothing forced, but queen takes e3 looks reasonable, but why would it not be good? So apparently white can go knight at d5, hitting the queen and also threatening c7. But you've still got the follow-up of something on e. Yeah, knight d5, bishop at e5 apparently, or pawn at here. But okay, I mean, this still seems good for black. But okay, but pawn at d5 was not so good because bishop d4, king moves. He takes b5, pawn at d7, king d8, a4. So black just has enough here to mate and does mate. Okay, so the game then was 2 games to 1 to littleplotkin. Now looking at game 4, and let's play by CPL for a bit. So we've got Scandinavian. Littleplotkin is black. Let's just play e takes d5, takes, knight c3, queen a5, b4. So b4 is an interesting sacrifice. It opens up the bishop and the rook. So if queen takes b4, you see this. You should probably save the queen, but littleplotkin just goes for he goes for piece activity rather than material, which is fair enough. Pawn at g4, bishop takes c6. So actually here, he could have exploited the pin for a little bit longer, and that would be more concerning for black. This position, bishop at d5 would both have defended the pawn and also attacked g2. So that's the idea of that move. Rook t4 check, you can easily defend. Again, bishop a6 looks like it's got threats of pawn at e2, so maybe you take the knight and pawn at e2 is a threat. So really interestingly, the computer doesn't even want pawn at e3, it wants queen at e3 in this position, just giving the queen back for the rook. But not entirely sure. That's advanced stuff. So the reason for that is rook at d4 is clearly a threat. Now, why is that a threat? So rook takes d4, why can't we just take back? Does black have anything? So I'll just have to look. What does black have in this position? It's so annoying. So I'll just look at the engine for a second. It says bishop at d5 is one idea and pawn at h3. So if we were to summarize this idea in terms conceptually, it's you attack on the light squares in white's position, and the problem is white just doesn't have enough pieces around his king. And this pawn is a monster. So f3 is weak, h3 is weak. So this is why actually in this position, rook takes knight is actually just really powerful. But bishop a6 looks very reasonable. It's another move hitting the light squares in the position, and it's threatening rook takes knight. And white did knight at c5. So if rook takes knight, the idea is knight takes bishop. So what the computer wants is that you don't want to lose that bishop. So rook takes pawn, pawn takes. Computer's got some crazy ideas. D takes e3, but what's the follow-up? I'm just going to have a look for a second. Pawn at e2 is one idea, or bishop at b4 check, and then pawn at e2. So just what is the idea of pawn e2? Can't white just take this pawn? If knight takes e2, yeah, that doesn't work, pawn at e2. So what is this? What is this? What is this? I don't understand this rook takes e3 business that the computer's saying. It just seems good for white, so I don't understand that at all. Okay, so I have to ignore the computer's ideas there. Knight takes a6, bishop takes a6. Let's see, 3. It likes queen here. Knight at f4. So we see how littleplotkin's using the same ideas was used against him in the previous game, of having a knight both targeting e2 and g2. It's like, I can do the same as you. And it's bishop at f3. That's not a natural defense. So you see, both players not really understanding this position, or else the computer's not understanding it. It's quite complex. Queen at g3. Knight takes g2. Queen takes g2 at f3. Knight takes rook is a mistake. Knight takes f3 is essential. But the point is, if knight takes f3, you've still got knight takes f3, pawn at e2 takes, and then you take back the knight, and you're hitting the queen, and you got nothing in hand, but you're threatening to take a knight. No, you're threatening. So yeah, some crazy variation. Okay, so black is safe, and checkmates. Okay. Yeah, so quite complex position. I don't know. I guess I'll start that as being quite a complicated position that maybe it's quite unusual for, say, the players not struggling. And I'll just start that up. Okay. So now we go on to game 5. Okay, so littleplotkin's white, got pressure on g6, and this is a bad move. Vacating g6 is just going to create a huge weakness on your light squares. So g5 just feels like a huge positional error, and it's going to get punished. It's just hitting these squares. It's now mating 3 because rook takes knight, knight takes rook, king comes here. No, but then you have queen coming on the back rank. Knight takes the queen, and pawn here, checkmate. And if you don't take the knight, if you just run, then yeah, what else do you just want? If you just run, then you just go pawn here, knight takes pawn, bishop takes, checkmate. So that's also checkmate. Okay, so he took a 4-1 lead with that game. Next one, he's black. Littleplotkin is black against Kleerkast. G3. We see this very solid setup that Kleerkast really enjoys to play, and we saw Blitzbullet playing it the other day. But somehow, yeah, so knight f5, really two pieces just willing to just get in on this sacrifice to just break open this position. And the computer's got an interesting suggestion, which is g4. So just it's interesting to see how the line would go in this sort of thing. And it's not clear this is good for... Yeah, I mean, White's position is no longer quite so secure, but with what he did, bishop g5, there is the sacrifice, and yeah, so there is a sacrifice there, and yeah, White is in on Black's position, and this is game over. Okay, so quickly going to game 7, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, so game 7. So at this point, it's 4 games to 2 to Littleplotkin. Kleerkast, again going for a fianchetto setup, but with an advanced g-pawn this time. So let's see how he fared with the advanced g-pawn. Yeah, so this is unfortunate. Dropping the bishop back. I was wondering during the game whether it was worth just even sacrificing here. The computer's probably going to say it hates it. Well, it's possible, let's say. The idea is bishop takes d3, bishop takes d3, queen takes d3, and I was going to say pawn at, but I was going to say pawn at e4, but apparently that's not good at all because White can just... So pawn at f3 apparently is maybe more playable, but okay, so it doesn't really work so well. Point is White wins a pawn, and White gets in on the position, and White has mate. Okay, but I think the rest of the games we saw live during the stream, so unless there's something particular that we missed, I'm going to just say that was call the end of the stream. Let's just see if there's anything particularly interesting, like a missed mate or something. Let's have a quick look at the analysis. I mean, there were some sharp positions, but nothing. So here, this apparently was quite a sharp position. Quite uncertain who was winning, so I'll just star this as quite an interesting game. Rook at d1, not necessarily the best move, but in the end we saw this White Black run out. Oh yeah, so Black's in this final position they took a draw, but so check here. Rook takes f7, e takes f7, queen takes f7. So okay, queen here, king f2, rook d2 check. So apparently, so king e1 here, king f2, rook here. So apparently white could continue with bishop at e2, and white does have an advantage. But white was happy to take the draw, littleplotkin was happy to take the draw. But even earlier, e takes f7. Well, that's what happened in the game. E takes f7, queen takes f7, bishop at e6, f3. So apparently king takes f3 was slightly stronger as well. But okay, my computer can't cope with this. Okay, going to the penultimate game. Again, I'll just make sure if there are any missed mates. There was not a missed mate, but there was just a missed. So white was in control this game, but with pawn takes pawn loses control. So I guess this was a key point in the game. Queen at g. Not pawn takes pawn. So what was the white move that he should have done? Knight at f6. It's hard to see why exactly. Yeah, because I thought black was doing quite well in this, but apparently white was getting. Yeah, I thought black had a really good attack in this game, but there was no mate. So at this point, black was doing very well with just simply knight takes bishop, but instead played king c8. So instead of taking the bishop, but yeah, nothing. And that was that the final game? Yeah, that was the final game. So we saw that live. So there was nothing, no missed mates or anything. So congratulations to littleplotkin. So just to see the end of that game. So white seemed to be defending okay, but then black got in on the back rank and it was all over. So it's very nice. I mean, here, of course, there was an easy mate with bishop at g1 and pawn at g2. But it was crashing in any case. Okay, so that's the CWC match. Tune in to Jan Lee Crazyhouse, especially for more CWC streams from the World Championship. Thanks for watching.